there were some recent comments that came out of Lakers practice from Darvin Ham that has Laker fans upset. But I, however, think this is a bit more nuanced than that. And Rui Hachimura has been on fire recently, and he credits one big thing because of that. Also, Jarred Vanderbilt, there is some more optimism that he might play this season. What's good, y'all, and welcome to another Lakers Digest video. I'm your host, Okechi Apakama, and before we get into all the topics we have for you today, I want to bring your attention to something. We have 80% of you guys who have recently watched our videos who are not subscribed to the channel just yet. And if you guys want more of that, Laker news, Laker reactions, trade rumors, game recaps, just every and all things LA Lakers, you guys want to come right here to Lakers Digest so you do not miss any of it. Now, with that out of the way, guys, let's hop straight into the topics we have for today because we have a bunch to get to. So, first up here, Darvin Ham is going back to the basics. So, Darvin Ham has received a lot of flack this season, and some of it is definitely warranted from having a lot of fluctuating lineups, from maybe playing some guys a little bit too much minutes, and then also not really going back to some of the same lineups they used last season, which was very successful for them. Now, there's something new that came out from Lakers practice. This was a quote from Darvin Ham and how he was taking things back to the basics. So this was what Darvin Ham said recently at Lakers practice, and he said, just us looking to do some things defensively, looking at some things offensively, talking about basic fundamental things, being better on the ball, guys being alert and active behind the ball, making sure we got AD or Jackson Hayes, whoever big is, to if they go out to block a shot or something, to make sure that we have their backs covered and we're getting their guy off the glass, and offensively continuing to work on our pace, getting into what we want early and getting a second and third action and not going slow. Now, we only have one option to attack from. We have the numbers to support the fact that we can get into what we need to pretty early in the first fourth of the shot clock. In the first 6 seconds of the shot clock, we are a much better team and we are able to explore different options. So that was a pretty loaded quote there, but Darvin Ham essentially was talking about offensively and defensively, almost kind of like simplifying things a little bit to expect, especially offensively for the Los Angeles Lakers, who have been one of the better offensive teams of late. But this has Laker fans upset the other way because they were talking about Lakers going back to basic fundamentals. There was a couple of videos online of the Lakers just going through basic defensive things where LeBron was like leading a couple of units defensively, and that just has Laker fans a little bit upset for some reason. And people were upset because he was going back to the basics, as they said, but from a standpoint where we were earlier in the season, where a lot of people were upset that he was overcomplicating things, I think this is something that's just a really big disconnect when you have from your usual casual fan to just NBA level type player. There is a lot more nuance to all of this. So what they probably mean from going back to just basic fundamentals here is just basic fundamentals to their understanding. And that can also mean that they're just not to overcomplicate things and really just make the right and correct reads, because this is the NBA, and then it comes down to if you can do one thing better than somebody else. And the Lakers have a lot of guys on their roster who can do a lot of things better than most guys in the NBA. So them kind of like going back to the basics, it's just them making things a lot easier for their guys, and also making it easier to implement newer guys and have them sort of like have simpler tasks. And so everything is just going to surround, obviously, LeBron James and Anthony Davis and what you do. But those guys are seasoned and veteran guys, and they have worked with less offensive talent and made this work as well. So them sort of like being the hubs and centerpieces of offenses and just using simple read and react systems, I think this is just a better way for the Lakers to get their offense needed. This is what they've been doing these past couple of weeks as they finally understood their 5-out principles. So a lot of guys, especially, and they're using the guys they used last season in that lineup with Austin Reaves, Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. So all these guys all kind of know each other and all a little bit used to each other now that they've been playing for a little bit over a year plus. So now it's just making those right reads. So if you've probably listened to NBA Discord out there, LeBron James was on JJ Redick's podcast, and he talks about how sometimes NBA players don't always understand some simple plays, whether they were to switch a play from one side to the other, or maybe if they run the same play a couple times in a row, the teams won't pick up on that right away. And that is true because that is sort of human nature in these things. So it makes sense for the Lakers to kind of simplify these things and simplify these tasks, and this also helps bring up to speed, like I said, some of these other guys. So a Spencer Dinwiddie, so we are still not sure if a guy like Gabe Vincent is going to come back. So if that is the case, then you got to bring a guy like Spencer Dinwiddie up to speed and able to use his skill sets so he can be advantageous for the Los Angeles Lakers. And then even a guy like Jackson Hayes, which you don't look at Jackson Hayes as maybe a super or cerebral player, but there are some things you can do for him that can help leverage his skills and make it a lot easier for him to get some of those easy dunks, those easy layups, and that's just simplifying things. So like running hard, making sure you're boxing out the next man, making sure you're just communicating defensively and offensively. So it just makes things work better as a unit. So that's was our first topic. So I'm gonna move on to our next one here, and this is still a little bit more about the starting lineup because that's one of the players in the starting lineup, and that is Rui credits good play on good chemistry. So I've been saying this for a little bit now. Rui Hachimura has been quite on a tear, and it's because ever since he's been implemented into the starting lineup, this is been his numbers here as he's been a starter, and he's averaging about 14 points a game, 3.8 rebounds, and 1.1 assists in 26 games as a starter, which is very solid for a guy who is essentially your fifth option in your starting unit. So a lot of teams aren't using the requisite size or maybe the requisite guys to guard Rui Hachimura, and then he also notices that as well. So he was talking a little bit after Lakers practice, and then Rui Hachimura said this. He said, "It just starts. It just that we started playing together, and we started more. We were really more comfortable with each other. I feel like it's not me. Everybody, especially in the starting lineup, LeBron James, AD, D'Lo, Austin Reaves, myself, just more comfortable playing with each other. We know our strengths, and we played through our strengths the whole game. That's where I think this is coming from." So Hachimura just alluding to the fact that those guys have kind of know each other now because they've been playing together for now a year plus, and now these guys are starting to understand each other's tendencies and just where they need to be or want to be when they want to either shoot the ball, pass the ball, or just wherever it is on the floor. And then Hachimura being the type of finisher he is, so it makes those those reads easier. Darvin Ham also talked about Hachimura just having him being aggressive and being decisive in his decision making, because it doesn't help the Lakers when guys are holding the ball or not really moving the ball and without any action or going into something. It's better for them to flow into things, and that's what makes it hard to guard when they're able to do these quick reads, quick reactions. And that's why guys like Rui Hachimura has been able to have some of these big games here, is because teams are keened in and focused on guys like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and then even also D'Angelo Russell to an extent. So it's less defensive resources put on Hachimura, and he's able to take advantage of those mismatches and really leverage his strengths. And that's what the Lakers starting five has been learning to do. So whether it's D'Angelo Russell and his very hot three-point shooting, or Austin Reaves' ability to get into the mid-range and get fouls, or Rui Hachimura's ability to body guys in the post, and then obviously LeBron James and Anthony Davis, who are otherworldly talents and can get a lot of actions on the offensive ends. So all of these guys have now started to figure out how to really play with each other, and that's going to help them obviously down in the long run, as they're going to try to make this playoff push here. But there is a player that, if he comes back, he can truly change things for the Los Angeles Lakers. And that's my last topic here today. and that is Jarred Vanderbilt more likely to return. So, in a recent article from Johan Buha of The Athletic, great reporter and beat reporter for the Los Angeles Lakers, he was talking about the fact that there could be some more optimism within the Laker organization that Jarred Vanderbilt could make his return. So, he said this in his article. So, he said, there is less clarity with Vanderbilt and Vincent. Neither of them has been rolled out for the season, but of the two, there is a more internal optimism that Vanderbilt will return before the regular season ends next month, according to team and league sources. If either or both players had been healthy, they may have altered the direction of the Lakers season. And I agree with that wholeheartedly 100%. If Vanderbilt and we got a chance to see Gabe Vincent most of the season, I do think they would have affected the Lakers in a massive way, because those are probably two of the best Lakers point of attack defenders. Vanderbilt especially, because he is a Swiss Army knife on defense, can guard multiple positions, and he is very good at the things the Lakers are currently bad at, and that is rebounding, offensive rebounding, and then point of attack defense. All those three things is what the Lakers could use on the roster right now, and it's just been in Vanderbilt, who has been out for some time. But this is another piece of good news, as there has been constant conflicting reports on whether if Jarred Vanderbilt will make his return this season or not. But we do have Spencer Dinwiddie, so not getting Gabe Vincent back for the regular season might not be the worst thing, as I think there's still more that Spencer Dinwiddie can do for this squad. But as it pertains to Jarred Vanderbilt, if he is able to make his appearance and come back before the regular season ends and get some games in, I think that can be very massive for the Lakers in the long run, because he's a guy that is a game changer on the defensive end, and he can really muck things up and really help the Lakers in some of these possible play-in games that they're going to play here in these next few weeks. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Make sure you guys comment down below on what you think of Darvin Ham essentially going back to the basics and sort of simplifying things and try to make this a little bit easier for the Los Angeles Lakers squad to really thrive and leverage their strengths. And then also Rui Hachimura's play, how much more do you think or how much better do you think it can get? And then Jarred Vanderbilt, do you have any optimism if he can come back this season and make an impact? Like I said, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I have been your host, Okechi Apakama, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.